Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are starting a new series of Physics 5054 of O level. This is Rahman Digital Production, and before jumping into the beautiful world of physics, please, if you not subscribe my channel, then subscribe it and give me an opportunity to provide you a quality education. First of all, let us define physics. This is chapter number 1, unit number 1, and in unit number 1 we will talk about the measurement of physical quantity. Measurement of physical quantity. Measurement of physical quantity. We will discuss that what is physical quantities and what are the non-physical quantities. But before going into the detail of that, let me first introduce you with the concept of physics, where we can use physics and how can we measure different things in physics. Because the job of a physicist is to produce energy from the different reaction. That is the main purpose of physics. As the definition is saying, physics is a branch of science. Now the first question which is arising, that what is science? Physical quantities we will discuss later, but what is science? Because we are saying that physics is the branch of science. Science is the systematic way of the systematic ways of doing work. If you are doing it systematically, then it is science. Now we have to define physics. Physics is that branch of science. Physics is that branch of science which I should say in which we study the properties of matter, energy, and their mutual relationship. Mutual relationship. Now what does it mean? People are understanding that what is this definition is. If you know the famous equation of Einstein, E is equal to mc square, where E is the energy and m is the mass and c is the velocity of light. Ladies and gentlemen, physics is such a branch of science in which you are taking a material, taking it to the laboratory, studying different properties of that matter, and then find the ways how to take out energy from the matter. This is the actual job of a physicist. So the definition is also giving you the idea of energy, matter, mass means the quantity of matter. So that is why matter is written here. That is why matter is written here. We are studying the properties of matter, different characteristics of matter, and then we are finding the ways what should we do with this matter to get energy from it. For example, I am giving you an example of coal. We are finding it, getting the properties of it in the laboratories, and then we are thinking the way. For example, one way is to burn it and it produces the heat, and you know heat is a form of energy. So physics is actually a science, yani systematic way of doing the work which is used to get energy from different materials. Just like there is a science of physics, there is also a science of chemistry. Now what chemistry is doing actually? Chemistry is studying also the property of a material, and they are studying it that what should be combined with this matter so that it produces a chemical. For example, they are finding sodium, and then they are finding chlorine, the properties, and at the end they come at the view that when we combine sodium with the chlorine, so it gives us sodium chloride, which is salt, which we are using in our everyday life. So there is physics. In physics, we are studying the properties of matter, and then we are studying the ways how to get energy from that matter and their mutual relationship. What is the meaning of mutual relationship? How energy will be related, how we will relate energy to the mass so that we can create a very good energy resources. So ladies and gentlemen, physics is a systematic way of studying the properties of matter, energy, and their mutual relationship. Now the first topic name is measurement of physical quantity. What are the physical quantities? Those quantities which can be physical quantities. Let us define the physical quantities. Those quantities which can be measured, Yes, we can measure it. For example, mass is a physical quantity. For example, mass is a physical quantity. Mass is a physical quantity. Why? Because we can measure it. How? For example, if we want to get sugar from the shop, then we are saying to the shopkeeper 1 kilogram. So it means that we can measure this quantity. These are. So people are asking, there is any quantity which cannot be measured? Yes, there are certain quantities which cannot be measured. For example, the beauty of flower cannot be measured. This is not a physical quantity. For example, we cannot measure that how fastly our eyes are catching a sight from far away. That this is the speed of eye, which is looking something awkward. So we are dealing in physics, as its name indicates, that these are dealing with the physical quantities, and I define it those quantities which can be measured. For example, mass is a physical quantity. Now next is physics. So I told you that physics is that branch of science which study with the physical property, I should say rather, that physical property of matter. Okay, if you are a physicist, then you will do practical work. If you are a physicist, you are doing practical work by bringing that matter to the lab, and then you are studying under microscope or any other methods the property of that matter. You are taking different measurement. That is why the first topic is measurement. As a physicist, you must understand that how to take measurement of different physical quantities, as the chapter name indicate, measurement of different physical quantities. If you are not familiar, you will not be a physicist, and that is why it is taken as a first topic inside the physics. Okay, physical quantities are different. For example, in the book it is given, any book you are taking on the measurement of quantities, they are giving you the topic physical quantities and SI units. So I discussed that what are the physical quantities: mass, length, time, speed, current, and temperature. These are all the physical quantities. It is written in the book. I have a book with me which is used for GCE, and this is the book. If you can find this book somewhere, then we will study all the materials of this course in this book. So in this book, on page number 2, it is written physical quantity, and they are also, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that every teacher will define physics in different terms, but they are having the common thread inside that. For example, this book is, which I shown you few moments before. They are saying the knowledge of physics that we have is the result of the work of many people who have built and tested theory about matter and energy. Can you see that they are saying that different people are working? Yes, one person is working to bring the material from a rock, for example, from a mountain. They are cutting it. He don't know how to study the properties. He is bringing to the laboratory, giving it to the analyst. The scientists are taking that material and observing it under microscope, another person. When he says these are the properties, then they hand it over to the other scientists, which is finding the ways how to get energy from this matter. And they are doing different experiment combinedly. So this is a teamwork. And as a result, you are getting energy. For example, we can get energy from the light. Light is a source of energies. First of all, we are talking about the SI unit. So SI unit are SI unit, System International Units. System International Units. You must understand as a physicist that what are the internationally recognized system through which we can measure. Here in Pakistan, we are saying पाव is a unit. एक पाव दे दे इस चीज का. So पाव is a unit. Here locally we are saying of the mass, but पाव is not understandable to the outside world. So the need was felt that such a system should be there. That system should be used in every country, and it will be a standard. So different system of units were introduced, in which one of them is British engineering system. One is called MKS system. And the most important and internationally recognized system is the SI system, System International of Units. Okay, if you are saying kilogram, then it is understandable to the whole world that kilogram is the unit of mass. Milligram, centimeter, millimeter, kilometer are the units of length. So there are physical quantities which are called basic physical quantities, which I am writing with their units here. Physical quantities. The first is the quantity. I am writing the quantity name. Then their base. What is the base unit? And then I am writing symbol of unit. Symbol of unit. For example, the first physical quantity is length. There are 7 physical quantities. The first one is called length, and base unit is meter. There is other unit, kilometer, millimeter, centimeter, but the basic unit is meter and it is represented by a small m. The second quantity, physical quantity, is mass. Mass is measured in kilogram. Mass is measured in kilogram and kg is the unit of this mass. Similarly, time is another physical quantity which can be measured, and the base unit is second. Whatever problem you are solving inside physics, you have to solve it in second. If it is not already given to you, give the answer in hours or minutes. So there is second is denoted with the S. Then temperature is another physical quantity, temperature, and it is measured in Kelvin. Although we are having Celsius, Fahrenheit and other such thing, but the base unit is Kelvin. One thing you have to remember, we will discuss that in that particular chapter, that you can't say a degree Kelvin. It is technically wrong. Next is the current, electric current I should say. So current is also a physical quantity and the base unit is ampere. We will discuss these ampere and all the other things in greater detail, but for the time being you should remember that ampere, and it is denoted with the capital A. Next one is, here I am increasing the width, the length and of this, because we are remaining with two different properties. So one is called luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. Luminous intensity can be measured in candela. It can be measured in candela, and we are denoting in literature it as CD. Now ladies and gentlemen, what is luminous intensity? Luminous means light. For example, the light of a bulb, how intensive the light is, it means luminous intensity. You have to say candela, that this much is the intensity of this bulb. How bright is the light of that bulb? So there is luminous intensity, and then amount of substance. Amount of substance. Amount of substance. And that is very famous mole. In chemistry, the students are always physical, which is not that much difficult, but mole is there and it is physically denoted by mole. Ladies and gentlemen, there are different physical quantities which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So if somebody is asking you that what are the base physical quantities in SI unit, so you must understand 7. There are other quantities which are called derived quantities, which are called derived, that those are not the physical quantities. but they are the derived quantities. They can be derived from these 7 base properties. For example, the unit of speed is meter per second. This is an opportunity for me, because in my 30 years of experience, when the students are seeing this thing in the literature, then they are saying m second minus 1. No, it is also meter per second. How? See, if I am writing meter per second, which is this one, so if I am technically writing m raised to the power 1 second raised to the power 1, but when this 1 is shifted upward, it will become meter second inverse. So you don't have to say meter second inverse. People are always saying that these are the meter second minus 1. Then the other people are confusing themselves. So the unit of speed is meter per second, and meter per second means that one base quantity is meter, which is, and this one base quantity is second. So derived quantities means that they are derived from 7 basic quantities, and that is called derived quantities. For example, if you are having the area, the volume of 3-dimensional object, that is called meter cube, which is equal to meter into meter into meter. If you are taking a 2-dimensional object, so meter square is equal to meter into meter. So again, this and this are all derived from the basic quantities. So you can write that these are the derived. For example, there is velocity, which we will discuss in greater detail in the next unit. The unit of this is meter per second. So meter and second again. Similarly, we are having acceleration. We are having acceleration whose unit is meter per second square. Whose unit is meter per second square. And that is also can be written as meter second into second. Second into second. So again, meter, second and second. So the main purpose of this topic was to familiarize you with the concept of physics, what actually physics is doing, and what is the purpose of physics. Because in the definition of physics there is a word science. Physics is that branch of science. So it means that we have to define first science. Science is the systematic way of doing a work. Now then comes to the definition of physics, properties of matter. So matter is a physical quantity. What is physical quantities? That can be measured. How? Which physical quantities we can measure? I told you length. Here we are having mass, time, temperature, and there is current. It is a bit erased with my hand, but it is current. And here it is amount of substance. So these are the basic, but only these physical quantities are available in this world. No, there are other quantities which can be derived from these base quantities, and that is called derived quantities. So remember that derived quantities are derived from these physical quantities. Okay, one thing I must tell you, that length, how much is 1 meter? There is a standard available, and that standard is called set by International Standardization Organization, which is checking the standard. There is a radium bar somewhere in Geneva, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and there is a bar which is absolutely 1 meter, and they said that this is the standard of 1 meter. Then we are taking the meter which we are seeing in the shops for measuring the clothes. They are the copy of that meter, but the standard one is there in the big laboratory of ISO. They are caring of it, because with the heat the length can be increased, so they are keeping that under a tremendous vigilance not to change those values. So people are taking. Similarly, for time, how much should be a second, how much should be a kilometer? So ISO is a standardized organization. You might have seen on the product ISO certified. ISO is checking the standard, and if they are thinking that this is a standard, then they are giving the certificate to those products, and we are saying that this is the standard product. So then people are buying it when it is ISO certified. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Tomorrow we will study prefixes for SI unit. What is the need of prefixes? Which prefix is used for which particular quantity? So we will discuss. That is very important. Don't miss it. If you don't want to miss any of my lecture, then please subscribe my channel. So whenever I upload a new video, then you will be able to see a notification. So subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon, and you will be informed from the new. So don't miss tomorrow's lecture. Thank you very much for listening and seeing it patiently. I really appreciate. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.